Mr. Chairman, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to our good friend, Ranking Member Elliott Engel. And I especially want to thank our colleague from Colorado, Doug Lamburn, for offering this important bill. Sadly, as we've heard, Mr. Speaker, Taylor Force is the name and the face of the disgusting and reprehensible practice in place by the Palestinians that we know as pay to slay. Taylor Force, as we've heard, was an Eagle Scout, a West Point graduate, a veteran of 2 wars, who served our nation bravely and with distinction. It was a life cut tragically short at 28 years old when he was murdered by a Palestinian terrorist while in Israel. And while the world condemned this attack, and while Taylor Force's friends and families mourned his loss, the Palestinian leaders failed to take responsibility. No, instead, and the Palestinian leadership continue to incite violence, continue to support terror. Because make no mistake, Mr. Speaker, as long as the Palestinian Authority or the PLO, whatever name they want to use, make payments to terrorists, they are supporting terror. How can you conclude otherwise? It is irresponsible, it is shameful to think that the American taxpayer and the U.S. government are in any way, shape, or form helping to support this pay-to-slay program. This is why this act will ensure that until pay-to-slay is ended, we will not be a willing contributor to the Palestinian scheme. This is just another tool that Congress has given the administration to use in order to hold the Palestinian leaders accountable. However, I do believe that we should not allow for exceptions, not allow for carve-outs in this important bill, because that flexibility, sadly, is sometimes used to circumvent the spirit of the law and the congressional intent. I would like to remind our body that the administration already has the tools it needs to withhold assistance to the Palestinian Authority and the West Bank and Gaza, so we must exercise existing authorities and send a message to the Palestinians once and for all. I urge the administration to use all of the tools at its disposal, to not waive provisions of U.S. law, to not selectively enforce some laws and apply others. And that means ending all assistance to the Palestinian Authority, all. It means closing the PLO office in D.C. until pay to slay has ended and until the Palestinians stop their incitement and stop their support for terror. So I urge my colleagues to support this important and tragic measure, and I urge the administration to use these tools that we continue to provide to it. I thank the chairman for rapidly bringing this important bill to the floor and the ranking member. Thank you, Mr.